right. So if you are the type of people that love trading stories in extremely difficult countries, you will love this conversation. So today we are going to speak with Thomas Reis, partners and founder of JegeReis, a commodity trading firm specialized in Angola. Yes, you heard it right. Angola. So for the people that don't know, Angola is an oil producing country in the southern west part of Africa. Angola has a very fragile banking system and a quite dubious rule of law. So obviously it's make it a very difficult country to deal with, but Thomas and his company is doing it well and is doing it successfully. So all right, let's see how he does that. All right, Thomas. So let's start with my favorite question. What can you please talk to us about one of your worst trade?
Basically, one of our worst trades. There's a few stories I can tell, but I would say the worst trade that we had is with imports. We had to import soy meal, and we got hit by a currency slide. So Angola is a very tricky country when it comes to FX. The kwanza sometimes loses 50% of its value without notice in about 2 weeks. It just slides. So on that basis, we had imported some soy meal, I would say around 150 tons, and we were selling basically on a spot basis. And we can't really mitigate the FX because all the companies here, the farmers and everything, do not have FX to pay us. So we have to receive kwanzas. And then we obviously took the money in kwanzas, put it in a bank, and the bank took more than 6 months to transfer that money. And during that period, it lost about 80% of its value, basically. So, I mean, in a nutshell, that was what was the whole story.
Yeah, I mean
So,
this is awful, man. So basically, it took you 6 months to get the local currency out, to get it transferred to US dollar. 6 months.
Yeah, to get
And
basically a swift confirmation.
I mean, man, that's tough, man. I have a similar story, not as hard. I mean, not 6 months, but in Mauritania, same story, man.
Yeah.
The containers were at the port, and we were like, look, man, now you need to pay us the balance. And he's like, yeah, sure, I paid you like weeks ago. Look at that. This is my recipe. I was like, yeah, sure, man. But we need euro, man. It's like, yeah, no, but we are waiting. And basically, it took like 2 months, I think, for the money just to get out of the country. And this is what people don't understand. It's like in those countries where there is like a weak FX market, a weak forex market, the country doesn't really have a lot of foreign currency, reserve. I mean, this could happen. It's tough, but can you usually there's like another way to get a local currency and against US dollar or whatever. So there's like other channel, not only the bank channel. So is it also the same in Angola, or the price difference is so high that it wouldn't make sense to do it like this?
So we have a big problem in Angola right now that we have to swim here between fiscal stuff. So Angola's got the most sophisticated taxation systems. Everything's very scrutinized nowadays. And
Okay.
obviously, us as a young company, I would say we are trying to basically have the good books, have everything like that. So you don't want to get slapped because you got here something which is called a SAFT, basically file which you have to declare. I think you've seen it. You see similar things. I think it's Portugal, Switzerland have the same taxation system. So I think finding new ways. This is actually why we're successful because we found new ways to actually trade and how to convert that valuable FX that we have here into exports. So
Yeah.
instead of now doing transfers, we now grab the kwanzas that we have and buy strategic commodities to export. And it's something that is completely new. I think for Angola, at least, we've been very dependent in oil. So just thinking outside the box, seeing what is surplus here in the market, what makes sense to export, and what can be competitive outside. So we've become kind of experts in identifying those potentials.
Those type of all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
let's hold that. But let's talk first about how old is your company? When did you started it? Why did you started it? Why did you say? I mean, bring us back to the very beginning.
Yeah, so we started trading firstly and foremost with a family company, which is Grupo Reis, which I basically had to grab it by the horns, as we say it here, um, the bull horns. This was about in 2017. I had to grab that company and reform it basically as a whole. I had to I had to make it into a trading company. So I started actually trading mining, ground engaging tools, chemicals, stuff like this to supply into the mining sector. But again, it was an FX problem, FX risk problem. We got actually hit harder than the first story I just told a minute ago. And we basically, because the country is a net importer, so I had to now start rethinking what can we do to start trading in the sense of that we can mitigate the FX, this whole FX risk. So I had my partner, who is my current partner now, Sholape, was in London, and he was working between London and Dubai um, for a family firm, also trading in oil products and stuff like this. And we were trying to get a bit into that, but obviously this is for the big players.
Yeah.
So we didn't really manage to get into oil trading and all of these things that we were gunning for. But then we had to start finding other niches. So this was back in 2017. We started restructuring and seeing how we could do things. So we started identifying potential things such as fruit and stuff in 2017. So me and Shalape, who is the other co-founder of the company, who's he basically said, I'm going to move to Angola. And then we said, okay, you're coming out here. Let's don't come under my family company because this company has the 25 years or now has 25 years, but we needed basically a fresh company that can start from Europe and can start creating a good credit profile for us to get finance from abroad because this is the big challenge here, right? The FX
Yeah.
problem. So this is the kind of the origin story starts from there that we had to start a company in London that could potentially raise money for us to start trading um, with FX from that this country daily needs and to kind of identify with the identified spot the identified commodities that we wanted to trade on can be financed from London to here.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so basically you were like, look, I have my family business, which is a dormant business because,
Yeah.
as you told me before the interview, your family had to leave Angola. And then
Yeah.
when you came back, you were like, look, we cannot use this entity. We need to start a fresh one in the UK. So then we can, create a credit profile, raise money in the UK.
Yeah.
So then to trade in Angola. So that's
Yes.
basically that was the whole idea. And
Yeah.
you, okay. And so this was 20, it was like 6 years ago. When was it when you from?
2017. So yeah, I would say 6 to 7 years, six,
Okay.
7 years ago, that's when we started kind of talking because as I said, he was working for a family company out in between London and Dubai and they were trading a lot around oil. So obviously Angola being a oil producing country, a lot of people are after a lot of light crude, so they tried to reach out and to see if we can make some connections. Because at the time I had some good connections because my
Yeah.
previous work was at the government. So they were like, okay, can you get us in touch? But it wasn't so easy.
No, no, no. There's like, there's
So yeah,
I've never been to
but I mean
Angola, but
that's
I kind of
yeah,
understand how it works. So, all right. And so basically, we're like, look, okay, energy doesn't work, so let's see what we could trade. There's obviously Angola is a big country, so there's a lot of need, and you
yeah,
identify different things. So and now, so that was okay, 6 years ago, and now today, so the trading company. What do you
yeah.
trade mostly? What is the volume? Can you give us like some number just to give us like an idea of the size of the company?
So we then how we identify this is that I think we were looking at it the wrong way. We saw that the biggest opportunity or the lowest hanging fruit was to focus our company in inter-African trading. So there was a lot of people, especially Angola as a country, very hooked into its with Portugal still. So a lot of commodities are still traded via Portugal, and Portugal is not actually a producer. So they're basically brokers in the middle somewhere.
Mm.
So what we thought, okay, let's try and restructure this in the sense that it makes sense to trade smaller volumes, but on trucks, for example. So Angola, being a net importer, had a lot of trucks coming from South Africa, Zambia, Namibia. So we had to restructure the company in a sense to make use of that freight. You know, freight is a big adds a lot of cost at the end of the day to our local trades. So it adds more than sometimes 20%.
Ah,
Just
on top of the price. Yes, yes.
yeah, on top of the price.
Mm.
So
So
we basic yeah, the cost price. So this is a way that we thought, okay, we can actually capitalize on this and offer a good rate to these truck drivers, a backload and an upload. And this year will kind of like almost not kill, but really draw back the freight of the freight cost.
yes, because for people to understand, like if you can say to the when there's a lot of trucks going one direction, like this is the
Yeah,
same for containers. Then if you can
yeah,
say, look, I have a product to load back, then it
yeah,
can the freight could be dramatically cut down because
yeah,
the drivers they are also making money on the way back. Okay, so
yeah,
this is okay. So that was your insight. It was like, look, there should be something here. So if we can sell something from Angola to the other market, like South Africa, or Zambia or something. So there's something here. So this is with that insight that you try to find something to trade, right?
yes, precisely. So actually, I'm currently based in Rwanda, but before I was based in the south of the country. People don't have a reality. So all the like any other big country or any other country in the world, all the decisions are made in the capital. And we were based outside, actually bordering with Namibia, and that made us have a totally different insight, being basically on the ground, and we were able to see the flow of trucks that were going on between countries, you know. And actually, that's the only gateway that you currently have um, into Angola by road. So through that, that was we were in the right place, you would say, at the time to be able to construct this idea in how
And
to do this
and
trading.
what did you start to sell aboard? What did you start to source in Angola?
So we started sourcing a lot of byproducts of industry. Um, we're talking about palm sterling. We're talking about uh, wheat bran, maize bran. Those are the main kind of byproducts of the food industry transformation. And those are
Oh,
the surpluses because the country is not well established overall. So the industry is well far ahead from the primary sector. So you get a lot of import of those raw materials, but then you get um, a surplus of byproducts.
yeah, yeah. But this is a problem with is countries like Angola that heavily depend on one source, which is oil. So
Well,
then they
yeah,
didn't really develop the rest of the industry. They import everything. They cannot make. They
yeah,
don't do nothing in the country. So there is no industry. There is no job for the people. Everything. It's a very tough situation also to get out. But basically, you found like okay, basically secondary product. So byproduct of industries could be exported because there they were outside of the country. There is industries that know how to use the product, which cannot be done in Angola. So this is the trade that you set up.
yeah. So actually, the country can use those industries. So usually, as that industry for the byproducts of wheat bran and maize bran are usually used for the animal feed industry. And there isn't a big agricultural, let's say the meat proteins industry in Angola yet established. So there is always a surplus. So there is
Mm,
big
okay.
companies here doing manufacturing of feed, you know, and finishing up feed. But the raw materials to make up feed also are imported, especially the proteins. So
Mm,
there is a
okay.
market for that here, but there's not enough of consumer um, to be able to dry up the market. So there's a massive surplus on those byproducts.
Mm. All right, all right. Okay, so this is the insight. So and this is a trade that you've been doing for the last few years, basically.
Yeah, but basically 3 to 4 years we've been trading mainly on that. And we're
Okay.
actually the biggest exporters land-wise out of the country of that. And then we were doing about 600 to 700 trucks a year
Ah,
on
six
the
to seven
road.
hundred trucks. All
Yeah,
right.
that's each 34 tons, 30 tons. So yeah.
Ah, yeah, that's yeah. African trucks are heavier. Have heavier load than the rest of. Okay, 32. Okay,
Yeah.
32.
I
And
mean,
how
yeah.
do you
So
and how do you handle all of those operations and all of that? How big is your team? Because it's a lot of freight actually.
yeah, so we have about 30 workers overall, and
Mhm.
we have to be quite spread thin throughout the country. Have offices and have people that will go and knock on the door of a factory when there's big problems logistically. This is one of the biggest challenges that Africa has and our country has, from road conditions to availability of trucks and also sanitary problems also with making sure that the product is as
Yeah.
the specs that your end customer is off taking. 'Cause, we do kind of like sign the contracts almost on a future basis that we fix the price for a determined period of time, and then we have to source it to be compatible to what our off taker abroad is taking. And obviously, we have some people do not understand the sanitary compliance side of
Yeah.
things. So
No, no,
yes,
that's a lot of challenges. Of course, it's not easy. It's not easy.
so we have to
All
have
right.
a sharp eye and know which exact partners we have to tackle. And yeah, so these are the challenges. So we have a big team. Operationally, we don't own trucks of our own because we think we can only. I mean, the growth of our company of the volumes that we need, we will not be able to sustain. I mean, the sheer investment that you will need logistically. So we depend on third parties.
And
Yeah.
for do you have like yard where you consolidate your goods before shipping it, or no, you buy directly from the producer and ship it to your client?
Yeah, we have I would say two major warehouses that we work out of. Um,
Mm.
but because industry is also like being born in the country, so we have two strategic regions that we then basically consolidate from their packs. That's when the factories are getting their silos are getting too heavy and we don't have enough trucks, so we take the products to our warehouse.
Yeah, yes, because
Yeah.
yeah, freight is always an issue. And okay, so now this is the bulk of your business, and where do you where is your what is your path to growth? So I guess as every business you want to get it bigger. So
Mhm.
what is the main challenges to grow, and where do you want to bring the company?
So yeah, so what we actually did very recently, we split those two companies, the family company and the trading house company, which is JegeReis and Grupo Reis. We made Grupo Reis be a company that is much more present in country as it has this long history in the country. So we said, let's make this company the company that is going to now invest into production also.
Mm.
So we're going to go into the raw material productions and we're also in mining too. So this company is going to be very Angolan focused and very on the productive side. So we're also very interested on the fruit side of things. Angola got a very big potential for veg and fruit for export. There's the Lobito corridor that's now being built also for the mineral side of things. Also, there's a big potential there. So the Group Reis is going to be very heavily focused on internal production, and then
Yes. So,
JegeReis, yeah.
and so yeah, just so the Lobito corridor. This is the one, the train that goes from the shore to the DRC. Is it the one? It just
Yes,
started,
precisely.
right? Like few months ago, right?
Yeah, actually, it's a project that's always existed. Let's say from if I'm not historic, you can fact check me on this, but I think from the 1800s, the British built the Lobito corridor, so it already existed. So it's basically being refurbished.
Mm.
Um, it's a strategy. I think Leopold the 13th used a lot of the Lobito corridor to go into Congo back in the day. There's a lot of tourism. All the timber was also in the past shipped out via the Lobito corridor. So, but anyway, it goes into Congo first, like kind of the east of Congo, and then it goes down to back to Zambia too. So it links into the
Yes.
copper belt region and all of this too.
Exactly, because this is how they export all the copper concentrate out of DRC. Was,
I mean, all the big trading houses like Trafigura is one
yeah,
of the
JegeReis heavily. I think they
yeah,
put like
they're
I
heavily
don't
involved.
know,
Yeah,
yeah, 100 millions in it or something like this.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, so this is okay. So and then I cut you. So and then so the U group is going to be focused on infrastructure investment in the country, and
Yeah,
then JegeReis is going to be the trading company.
precisely. So we've
Okay.
got a presence in Nigeria, Namibia currently, and Angola, and our focus is to grow that much more.
And intra-Africa trade is,
Yeah.
man, how do you do it? It's tough, man. So usually it's because I know how it works, and it's tough because on both end you have like
Mhm.
difficult buyers. I don't know why you're the buyers, but usually so it's easier when one of your legs of the trade is somewhat a big company that you can rely on. Well, but when on
Mhm.
both end you don't know what they are going to do, it's 100 times more difficult. So, how do you distribute your product in the other African region? Do you have like distributors, or do you sell directly to your buyers? How do you do that?
So currently we've got some really good off takers. We've got a couple of partners,
Okay.
especially in the SADC region, which are very strong. Obviously, South Africa is way, way ahead of everyone in this in Africa. So we do have good partners in that area, and we tend to stick to working with them because they're good. They understand how to hedge risk and all of this, you know. And being a young company, we've learned a lot with them. Obviously, listening to guys like such as yourself on podcasts and
Yeah, I
reading
don't.
books, and I mean,
But
as
no,
you
no,
know, trade. Yeah,
because my point is like, okay, South Africa, sure, it works better, and the rand is not as volatile. But when you say Nigeria, I was like, look, man, you will have the same forex problem in Nigeria that you have in Angola. Maybe not worse, but at least it's going to be the same issue, especially if they need to pay in local currency. So then it seems like extremely risky to me.
yeah. I mean, I think there's ways to hedge this, and that's why we're actually as we have to you have to create a triangle here, right? You have to have companies outside of those countries
Yeah.
to
Okay.
hedge that risk. That's basically the bread and butter. I mean, this is not a secret to anyone or anything. Is you have to literally create an entity outside that will be able to trade with your other sister companies, and this
Yeah.
is how we kind of somewhat mitigate the risk there.
No, not sure. I mean, I
It's
do the same in South Africa. So we have like another
yeah,
company. And so everyone has the same structure. So it's not like a secret.
yeah,
But
yeah.
okay.
This is how we hedge it. You know, we can take product off ourselves at a certain price instead of letting the product sit there or anything like that. So that's basically what we do.
Mm, mm. Okay, so you see, like for you, the growth of your trading company is going to be around in Africa, basically trading with other African country, because it wouldn't make sense to export it via container to I don't know where. There's no reason to do that, or have you already?
There is, there is. I mean, but it's a very highly competitive scene. I think time is also something that people have to bear in mind. For us, where we sit geographically in the world, so if you're shipping stuff from Latin America, if you're shipping stuff from America or Europe, the time that it takes containers up in the sea before it bursts in our ports, we've got actually three major ports, but it doesn't really move the needle in terms of time. Whilst if we're doing road freight, it's so quick. It's so
Yeah,
quick because people also spontaneous because the problem here is not just FX risk. It's just it affects the whole economy as a whole. People don't get money on time and they need stuff in an emergency. So trading intra Africa makes it so easy to truck something else. The time that a truck is moving from Cape Town to Luanda is the same time sometimes it takes you to take a container out of the port. As you know,
yeah, yeah.
Nigeria is yeah. So
Yeah,
time
so
of the essence in
is
the sense.
exactly so. No, it makes a lot of sense because, all right, so I used to have a client in Gabon. So Gabon
Yeah,
is just next to
yeah,
Angola. So and we shipped container there, but it would take like 2,000 years to arrive because you had to transship in Togo. Then I mean it was so long,
yeah,
like at maybe 45 to 60 days, and this is a lot of money seated in the container that is not moving. So and also for the people to understand, like if you do a trade that take like 6 months. So your money is going to be I don't blocked for 6 months
yeah,
compared to a trade that do 10 days,
yeah,
60 days to 10 days. Then obviously, even though you make less money with the 10 days, you can make more rotation, which is more lucrative. So no, okay, yeah, it makes sense. I haven't thought of that. Angola, it's like yeah, it's far from, but now it might be a bit better now that the Red Sea is blocked. Way more ship goes that road, but still,
yeah.
it's and do you have a? I think the only port is in Namibia, the one that you where the big vessel can go is the one in Valvis Bay. And I'm not sure that you can have like the biggest vessel in Angola, right?
Yeah, we do. We actually have quite large ports. So you've got the Luanda one, and you've got
It's a deep sea
uh,
port because when I was in
yeah,
Valvis Bay, they all said no, this is the only port in the I mean,
the
yeah,
region.
yeah, exactly.
But
But
no,
yeah.
that's not the case. I mean, you got all the major shipping, you got all the major shipping lines coming over here, all the containers. They come
And
via these ports, but it's hectic
yeah,
sometimes the port. But it's very the infrastructure has improved a lot in the past years. When Angola was the fastest growing economy, it was very tough to bring any merchandise or just there was queues of literally ships trying to cross the deep sea. There was, I think, only one or two areas of offloading, but now it's completely changed. But I mean, we try and focus a lot on road freight because of obviously because of that speed. Because even if you
yeah.
ship, people give us examples of shipping stuff via vessel. If it's coasters, it's okay, right? Because you've got the smaller, you don't need such deep sea, and you got a kind of a dedicated loading bay. But if you're gonna move into the big vessels, your 30,000 tons and everything like that, we consider ourselves a medium company for the time being, and we've got literally elasticity or growth, what we predict is actually great, but at the minute we're going to stick to road for the time
No,
being.
no, but it makes sense, man. If this is your niche and this is what you know how to do, and there is not a
Yeah,
lot of, it's not a crowded trade flow. It makes a lot of sense. And so the idea for you is like you know Angola well, and your idea is to keep adding product from and to Angola. So that's
yeah,
basically how you will go. You will grow the company. By being multiple products, but in a
yeah.
tough region and being like the actor or the counterparty that people can trust in that region. So then you can grow from like that.
Yeah, precisely. I think this is what we always say, and I think you know this thing. And it's about your name at the end of the day. You can't be known as the guy who doesn't perform, who backstabs people, and all of this. So and there's a big problem here, especially communication is always is a barrier for our country. Trusting that people are going to pay you. Even local guys, for example, the banking system here
I mean,
is it's such a big problem because, like, even if you as a foreign entity, for example, you want to pay and you don't understand the actual framework of banking in Angola. The other day, we had a SWIFT that was coming in for a payment. It's been almost a month. We have the SWIFT in our hands, but our bank hasn't been able to recall it. And
yeah.
it's just because the SWIFT was sent to the bank that doesn't have the right correspondence and all of this. And, it's a,
No, it's a nightmare. It's a
yeah,
nightmare. Yeah. So
it's
yeah,
a,
yeah. So people don't really understand. Like, I think it was maybe a couple of years ago, a friend of mine he had to send money to Angola, and he told me that he spoke with his relationship manager at his bank, and the guy said, "Look, man, if you deal with Angola, we are going to close your account. So, man, don't do it because we can't have like a small company like you that send money to Angola. The compliance cost is so high that we are going to close." It was like, okay. So I mean, so this is so this is the no, it's not easy, man. Especially for all the viewers that are come from I don't know Europe or I don't know, US, or where they have like a bank system that kind of work. Know
Yeah,
that it's not it's not instant payment like anywhere. So, but
yeah,
especially when you
it's
have
not
like
so straightforward.
yeah, large sum of money, it's not easy. And so you are the CEO of the trading company, and do you also handle the investment of your family company or not?
Yeah, so as I said a minute ago, we've restructured everything. It was
Hmm?
tough to go. Basically, in the company, I have my parents, obviously, are
Yeah.
still board members. So to go to them and say, look, I'm pulling this whole trading business, which has been giving all this life to the company, and I'm taking it to a new company that started with my partner, and they actually respect him a lot because he brought a lot of angel investors in the beginning into this and all of this. So they respect a lot. But for them, actually, they're farmers by background. So for me to say, the only way I managed to convince them is to say, look, I'm starting a company and we're going to focus on production. This is what you guys like doing. And this is what the future is basically there because traders, is a very, as you know, is a very highly competitive landscape. But yeah, at the end of the day, who's at the helm of the company is me, Sholape. We've got actually, my wife is actually she's now started learning with me and Sholape, and she's gonna come in and take the helm at JegeReis trading in Angola. And we do, and women are very ferocious in trading from from the ones I've dealt with, and she's coming in. It's really a family affair. We also have people working with us from the UK, but at the helm basically is me and Cholape, who
Yeah.
are the and
No, no.
he
I
handles
mean,
everything to do with finance and everything like that. I'm more the strategic, the operation guy. And as for one of your previous questions, yeah, we know the country very well and the region. You know, we're we're not lazy to jump on a car in the middle of the night and go and see a problem or go and see a new farm or go and see this or that. So yeah.
no. So then this is no, but this is quite interesting. So where do you see your biggest growth in terms of trading? On which product do you think that okay we can double in the next 2 3 years? Or where is which product it is? What would be that path?
Um, Future, from what I know about the local industry, I would say protein. So vegetable oils.
Mm.
Angola's diversifying. There's some initiatives here in the biofuels. There's
Mm.
big crushing. The capacity of industry, this is what I said a minute ago, is so far ahead now. Now to install a plant nowadays, although it takes a lot of capital, but it's very easy to install a plant rather than start a soybean farm or anything like that. So the industry capacity
Ah,
here is going to be
okay,
vast.
okay,
So the
okay.
industry is so far ahead. So, but I would say there is so Angola is grabbing an experience in oil and gas, and
Mm.
starting to focus a lot on biofuels and stuff like that. So I would say the seed business, the oil seed business, there's going to be a massive boom here um, on trading on its derivatives on its byproducts very soon.
Okay, man, good. Good. And
So this is where we see ourselves.
how easy or how difficult was it to pitch some investors, angel investors, to invest or to in a company that will deal with Angola?
I mean, it wasn't easy, but again, it's about the promoters. It's about the promoters at the end of the day, being people of your word and being upfront and honest. I think honesty is key at this business. If you're
Mm.
able to explain someone the problem, they might not like it, but they're aware of that shit's about to hit the fan. You know, so that's basically I think the only tip that we have. But to that question is actually for Sholape. He's the one that suffers that for me. I tell him I need cash for this tomorrow. We can't lose this opportunity, and he has sleepless nights. He stays at the office until 2 3 a.m. talking to people in different sides of the globe. And we've actually gained. There's a lot of people that started working with us as angel investors and now are becoming very keen in keeping investing in our company. But again, they say we don't want to touch the kwanza, which is our local currency, right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
again, that triangle that I spoke about, I think it's very crucial for companies to do so.
Man, it's very, very interesting because Angola was always in Africa. I think it's one of the few countries that I've never been to. So,
Yeah,
and I've only heard like horror stories about other traders. Like very, very. But it's. I remember one of the maybe 10 years ago, maybe even yeah. I don't remember the date, but the Angola was out of currency, so basically impossible to import anything or to have like they were out of dollars. I guess this is when the price of oil like really dipped, and there were like thousands and thousands and thousands of containers at the port waiting to be paid. And so basically, they changed the rule to say like, look, if there is like food inside those containers, then you can
yeah,
pick up the containers without the bill of lading. So basically, steal
yeah,
from your supplier. So so, yeah, so I know a lot of guys that went to this and they're like, Angola, no more, that's okay, this is over. So,
yeah,
but
yeah. I'm
really,
tricky place. But you get those things often until central bank can fix and can be a bit more flexible around some rules that they've put in trading. And obviously, we diversify the economy. This is going to be something that is always going to occur, right? We have
yeah,
to diversify our economical our economy. The balance of our economy is not great. We've got great debt to China. Um, yeah, we're surviving in treasury bills and stuff like that. So it's not it's not the best, but the potential for it, and this is what I say to everyone, the geographical strategic location of Congo, Zambia, and for traders, it's an amazing position and a privileged position to be under, right? Especially the food security side that the world is talking about now and everything. Angola's got the second largest potential in terms of hydric resources in the region. Very fertile lands, ever evolving landscape from the deserts to the second largest forest in the world. The Congo is also in Angola. So, I mean, but we have to work a lot on mentality. So part of the people that we try and recruit and everything is also trying to show them that you can do it. So I get quite a few young guys who are quite entrepreneurial, and I actually tell them when we get to a point, and it's not that we're clashing, but we're getting to a point where I see that they've got a very big entrepreneur. I say, look, I give them a business, basically a business idea and everything. I say, go and start this because the landscape here, there's enough room for everyone. And this, we have to basically invest on human capital and the way that people think. And so I think we're in this for the long game, and I think there's going to be immense potential all over from mining. So the metal side also is very interesting for us. Angola is the untapped breadbasket of minerals, such minerals, copper and other things in the region or in the world. So
no, sure, sure. There's a lot to do in Angola for sure, man. But the thing is, like, people are really afraid of the country because of what happened. So, if you can have like actors, no, but that's the reality, man. So this is
yeah,
but yeah, but if you have like actors that can display trust and know what they do, I mean, there is like a massive opportunity. And again, so of course, the country is challenging. Otherwise, they wouldn't. This is why there is opportunity. Otherwise,
yeah.
there were not. So this is the game. All right, Thomas. So, few questions before we stop. What do you, if people want to work with you, or and they need something from Angola, or you can maybe help them? Where should they go?
Yeah, I would say visit our website. We're very active on LinkedIn. We've got a great marketing team who's actually the team also who gets people interested in investing in Angola. So LinkedIn at JegeReis or Grupo Reis, and you can actually email me Thomas at JegeReis.com or Sholape, so it's SOLAPE at JEGE.com.
I will put the all those information below this video, so don't worry,
Yeah,
guys. So with a Portuguese accent, yeah, not easy to. Tá bom, tá bom. So perfect, Thomas. So that was really nice. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Damien. And you're always welcome in Angola. Please.
Yeah, man.
Come through.
I'm also in the region.
Yeah.